Made This. I am Emily Kate and I'm coming to you from Berlin in Germany. This is a special edition. It's not my usual knitting podcast, but it is sewing related. So I discovered something marvellous. I discovered that there is not exactly a charity shop, but kind of like a charity shop here in Berlin. Thrift stores, charity shops, secondhand stores, they're not like a massive thing here. You do get some markets on Sundays, but they're all in the city and I'm not usually anywhere near the city. But I did come across a shop that's kind of like a charity shop, but it's not really. And I found some bedding. I wanted to buy some ugly, cheap bedding so that I could practice making some toiles for my sewing, so that I don't buy brand new fabric to make a garment and then buy more fabric to make the real garment and then have two of the same. Because I try to make wearable toiles because I don't like wasting the money, wasting the fabric and wasting my time, because sewing takes a long time. And if you are into sewing, you'll know that. And in order to understand if it's really fitting you, I like to make sure that I make the garment like I would make the final original, the garment. So I can't like cut out bits and do a half-assed job, because then it wouldn't really represent what I want. So I bought some ugly bedding and I thought, I know, I can try and make a pinafore. So I've seen these pinafores on Instagram and I have been inspired and I wanted to give a whirl for my own one. And I thought, why not practice on the bedsheet? So I have purchased said bedsheet. It is very yellow and I'm going to make a pinafore. I'm going to use a bodice pattern that I have in the attempt to kind of kill two birds with one stone and see if this new bodice pattern will fit. It's New Look 6223. I purchased it in Lewis when I visited the UK. I wanted to try it with the sleeves so that I could see if the bodice fit, and then I could make another dress, preferably this one, number D, letter D. Let me put my T down because it is distracting me. This one. What confused me was I took everything out of this and started to lay it out on the fabric just to see if it would fit. Oh, and yeah, you'd think Organize Me would have the fabric to go, here it is, and show you. But it's in the washing machine, so you can't see it, but you will see it. But Organize Me did not make sure that it was washed and ready to show you. Sorry. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Originally I laid it out just to make sure that things would fit. So originally I was looking at the back of this envelope and looking at the bust, and I thought, okay, my bust is roughly 32.5, 33 inches. And I don't know why, but I always work my measurements in inches, even though everything else in my life I work in centimeters. But I think it's because most of my sewing patterns are in inches, so I naturally remember that information. And it doesn't give me the centimeter equivalent, but basically it says if my bust was 32.5, usually you want to go up a little bit so that you've got some ease. I would have gone for size 12, which would have been a 34-inch bust. But I could have gone for a size 10, but then the waist is 25 inches and I do not have a 25-inch waist. So I was going towards size 12 and I was going to adjust some things. But then I started drawing out and tracing it out on some paper, and then I saw, I'm sorry if it crinkles, but on the pattern it says the finished garment measurements. I'm so used to using indie patterns, it hadn't actually occurred to me that information might be on these pattern pieces and not on this. So this one says the finished garment would end up being a size 12 would be 37.5 inches. Oh look, there we go, 94 centimeters. That's a lot of space, and I don't need that much space. So I ended up cutting out the size 8, which is the smallest size, and that would be a finished measurement of 34.5, 87.5 centimeters. So it's still pretty spacious, but we'll see when I make it. But that was very lucky that I caught that, otherwise I could have cut out something ginormous for me, obviously. So yeah, let's get to it. Here is the glorious bedding. It's so yellow. But the texture's really fun. So I'm excited to see what kind of dress it makes. Hello. So for the bodice, I'm adding something extra on the side. I'm completely guesstimating these measurements. I don't have a clue. Don't know what I'm doing, but we'll see if it fits. I can always adjust it. It's a toile really, so I can cut things off and then write notes for the next time. But this is going to be attached to the bodice piece, so it'll come from there and essentially like stick out like that. So here are my pieces that I cut out. So it's size 8, but then I did make the waist a bit bigger. Not sure if I really need to, since I'm adding this extra bit and it's going to wrap around, but hey ho, it's habit. I don't have the waist that goes with the bust, so I always change it. And I've got the sleeve, and it does say to do a lining, and I'm not going to do a lining, so I have made some facings. Hopefully they fit. I've only ever done it once and I don't remember if it worked. Which way around is this? So I just drew around. Where am I? Oh, it's folded. Yeah, there we go. I just drew around. We'll see if it works, and then I don't need to worry about the raw edges. And yeah, I'm also really unsure how long this is supposed to be since I'm making it up. So yeah, we'll see. How many times will you hear me say that phrase? Let's go. Okay, so I did want to put sleeves on it, but I don't think a pinafore works with sleeves because it's not attached anywhere except at the shoulder seams, so that wouldn't work. Ho-hum. I've overlocked the edges of all the side, and now I'm just folding over and ironing it, and then I will sew it in place, especially because I made the same mistake as usual and cut a hole with my overlocker. Oops. I'm enjoying how much my cup matches my project. And it looks a total mess, but it's working. Okay, so I've got the facing attached. I folded this in so you don't get any raw seams, and it'll go all the way down here. Then I'm going to attach the straps, and then it should, that one go around the back and that one come around the front, hopefully. So I'm currently having a brain meltdown trying to figure out how much fabric I need for the skirt. I was going to use the pattern piece I have, but then I realised I need to attach it to the elongated body, not the regular bodice. So I need to add bits. And my brain is saying no. Hello, so I wanted to do an update on the skirt. The skirt, I used the Senna Dress pattern, and I used the skirt that I used for that, and instead of using it as it is, I did 1.5 of it for its width. Length, yeah, for the width. So I could try measuring that and write it down somewhere, but maybe here. So that's what I did with the skirt. I think it could probably be less fabric, but it worked. I might try on the real version with maybe 1 plus a little bit, like 3 extra pleats. I'm making a pleated skirt instead of gathered because I realized gathered don't really look very good on me, and although pleated gives me so much extra bulk and fabric, I just really like how they look, and I like the swooshy feel. So going with pleated. Let's see how it goes. Here is the masterpiece laid out in a crazy fashion. Excuse my squeaky chair. This is what it looks like when it's attached at the shoulders. I'll go in a bit. So this is the only place that the whole dress is attached, which is madness. So I did do some strange things. So for the next one, I won't do that. Because I thought I was using sleeves for some reason, knowing full well that it only attaches here, I did make like the arm's eye, so it does do this, and really it should just come straight out. And I realized these are way too long. They do not need to be that long. So I did some really terrible sewing, so don't judge me, people. Don't judge me. This is the front, so you're not really going to see it. This is just going to tie behind. But if I make this again, which I think I will, as the real version, I will make these very different. And on the back piece, they're really long, and I attached the straps that wrap around, but it just looks so terrible. It really does look terrible. You don't really see it. I started sewing to hide it, but then it started doing some really weird folding. You know when you can sew and then you do something and your brain turns off and you just do really weird things. That's what happened to me today with this. So it looks a bit odd, but it looks fine when it's on. I don't know what's going on with this. I've just noticed something really annoying. Oh look, I sewed on the pleats to the bodice piece. What was I doing? Okay, I have to go undo this. Ugh. So this is a very weird thing to do, but I'm gonna get dressed and record it. Thought I would show you what the dress looks like, or the pinafore looks like, as you're putting it on, and I will show you the things that have gone a bit wrong that I will fix. So I'm wearing just something underneath so that I'm not naked. Here is my masterpiece. Let's see. Even though I washed it, it still smells like the charity shop. Okay, so that is the front with the smaller ties. Although I do think they could be a little longer. I'm going to adjust that. And that's what it is with one. Then realistically it should come to about here and then tie, but mine's a little longer. So the ties are attached, but they're kind of irrelevant in the whole scheme of things. So I'm folding it around here. Ta-da! I really need a camera or a room that is long enough and big enough to actually get the whole outfit in. I'll try and walk as far away as possible. Can't even see myself. So I kind of love it. I thought I would kind of not love it. I thought I wouldn't like it because, you know, it's a bed sheet, but I'm liking it. It does have a nice shape with these extra bits of fabric that if I cut them off, it would then lose. So I'm a little bit torn. You can see all of the straps and everything, so that's kind of ugly. But then is anyone really gonna look? I don't know. And it is a bed sheet after all, so it's not exactly like gorgeous. So I'm very torn on what to do with this. But hey, let's have a think. I did want pockets, but in reality there's so much fabric. If I add pockets, I'm just going to look enormous. It's not really the dress for pockets. Maybe if I had less bulk, I would. Well, maybe on the next one. The thing is, this is my toile for the real deal, but I don't actually have any fabric to make the real deal. So that will come at a later time. I did think about recording this and then doing the final dress, like the real one, but who knows when that's going to be, because I kind of want it in linen. Linen is expensive and I'm still not 100% sure how much fabric I'd need, but I'm guessing around 3 meters. And since linen isn't very cheap, I'm gonna wait a while, but I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying the swoosh and all this extra fabricy loveliness. So I think it would be worth investing in some linen to make it. But first, I'm going to have a play around with some more bed sheets and sew up some other things. But what do you guys think? Yay? Nay? Let me know in the comments. And I have to now figure out what mayhem I got up to at the back here. I did that before on my other yellow dress. I somehow got it folded up and sewed the back where I joined the skirt and the bodice together. I left that just like that, like a design feature, but I should probably take it out of this one. One thing I forgot to mention, which I think I mentioned in like the cutting out or the pattern phase, I don't remember, it feels like forever ago. I wouldn't next time do this with the arm's eye, because obviously when you've got a bra, like, you can see everything and it doesn't need to join, it just needs to cover, of which it does not really cover. So when I sit down, the fabric kind of loosens and then you would see my underwear. So that's not great. I'd have to wear a slip or something under it. And yeah. So the next one I won't do this. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I fixed this. I can't believe how I didn't notice this when I went out yesterday. Yeah, I sewed like an inch of the fabric and didn't even notice. I have finished. So I adjusted the front, you might be able to see. I cut off this extra bit and attached these on properly. I kind of missed all the vroom, but I think it is better. And I adjusted a little bit at the back. I undid it a little bit. So that's done. I also changed, I took out the random fold of fabric, so that's good. I think next time I make this, I will raise the waist a bit, because my natural waist is here and it's about an inch lower. So I would raise it a bit, but otherwise my pinafore is done. Yay! So thank you very much for watching along. If you make one yourself, let me know, see what kind of fabrics and stuff you use. Pinafores. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye.